this is our map, and we're doing a Genesis review here real quick, but it's going to play into a lot of things here. Next one, Kara. Thank you. This is our map. Again, we're up to Joseph now in Genesis, and starting in Genesis chapter 32, as we'll go next week there, next one. And so this is some of the things that we'll see here. This is the land of Israel that was all promised in Genesis through 12 through 15. This is all the land, all the way back to the Euphrates and Tigris. This is what was supposed to have been the promised land, folks. This was all the land that was promised to Israel, and they do not have even an eighth of that today. And so here we'll see the various journeys of the various patriarchs coming all the way through, and we'll see into the land of Israel there. Go next one. Again, around the Dead Sea, we see Sodom and Gomorrah. Again, go and check your maps on the way back there. Go ahead, another one right there. And then we can see the various Exodus. We can see Abraham going into Egypt. We can see him coming back. Isaac was the only patriarch, really, I should tell you right there, who didn't journey into that. He stayed faithful to the promise there. Go to the next one there. But going to Israel, this was the law enforcement tour. Law enforcement tour to Israel, and this is an officer there in Israel, Herzl, and his family, and we got to be able to have a good time with him and talk to him and the things that is happening with law enforcement. The next one there. And then that one just isn't going to work, is it? All right, next one. I know. Next one. There you go. This is Mount Bental, the old Syrian outpost, which, again, was... and that's Mount Hermon in the back with a lot of snow on it, folks. So the Kinneret, or the Sea of Galilee, is going up rather well. They're talking about having great kayaking down the rapids of the Jordan River this spring, which they haven't had in a long time because there's going to be a lot of snow melt there. Go next one there. Again, going with law enforcement and touring and ministering to them, and going into Jericho. Next one there. And being able to do St. Paul police patch there. Continue on. Meeting other officers in the old city of Jerusalem, talking to them. Next one. And Sergeant right here was just been able to stand a long time. And his partner behind him the whole time was just looking around, making sure what's happening. That's a control center there in Israel. One of the many ones of them, of all the cameras around. Big Brother, Big Shmuley, Moshe, whatever. He's watching. He's watching there. They can see everything there. Keep going, Kara. This is their memorial. This is the policeman's memorial for those who've fallen in the line of duty. And this is just in one region, one area of around the Tel Aviv area. Keep going. I can't see that too well, but the trading patches there. There they are leaving. This is a group. So this is one of the smallest groups ever taken over there with law enforcement. But for all those officers, there's probably about a couple of dozen, though, who backed out this last year. For whatever reason, they're all saying, we're going to go in 2013. So I kept sending them pictures back of, this is the greatest law enforcement tour ever. They don't know how many people are on it. They just know they're not. So it'll be excitement for them. But that was the end of that one. And then let's go to this next one there. And menorah outside this there. Keep going. And boy, that's just a bummer right here. Let's see this right here. No, the videos aren't working. I don't got the memory there. There was a message from Stephen Pat. I will play that right here from you. Let's try this. Got the audio ready there, Amy? Hey, what other? You want there? I too. I get a video message here for you. All right, there. All right. All right. Hang on. Seriously? Seriously? This one. You know what, man? I just have got to get some better editing tactics here.
Just
audio.
Telling you that we're blessed to be here and we're blessed to be sent by you. And don't forget us here. And just send some money or something. But no. But something. And hey church, just telling you that we're blessed to be here and we're blessed to be sent by you. And don't forget us here and just send some money or something. But no, we're blessed to serve here and it's amazing what God can do.
All right, Paula, now in English.
We appreciate your prayer and your support. We love the emails when you send to us. And we're having a blast here. We're serving. It's awesome. And we're well trained. So we'd love to have you come serve with us.
That's it.
Amen. All right, sure, it's it. Here we go.
Hey, so guys, we want to really thank you for sending these people. They're wonderful, and we've been able to rest for the first time in years now. Wow, Chick, I don't think I can turn my neck anymore. But anyway, they're wonderful. They're really helping us a lot. They're doing just tremendous work, and the people here love them. Thank you so much for sending them. God bless you.
More blessings in heaven.
Yeah. Seriously, they are beyond amazing. They've made it so easy where we don't have to do anything. They're doing it all literally.
Yeah, we do it.
Actually, we're doing about half of what we did at home, so it's all good.
So if you want vacation, come here.
Amen. All right. Go back here now. Someone asked me to collect dirt out of Nazareth, so I had to go get dirt for him. All right. There you go. All right. So we're going through the... I took Paul and Alexi and Jonathan, and we went up through what the world's calling the Palestinian area. And it looks like they got some little United Nothings project there. Palestinian people there. Keep going. Turkeys and a goat. All right, next one. Oh, that's a video. Go back to the video. Get that? But it's a really good number. Just come here. No, you don't know that. No, you know what? You don't know what I missed. No, you don't. No. I gotta get rid of that. Time on my hands, folks. Where is it? Okay. That's not it. Oh, I don't have enough memory on my RAM there. All right, let's just go back to Keynote here. You're going to have to really see these videos someday. All right, we're back here. Starbucks in Arabic. All right, there you go. This is Kuwait, going into Kuwait. Kuwait City. If any of you have been to Manhattan, Kuwait City is... where's Kuwait? Okay. So, what happened in Kuwait? I was supposed to go there. Crossing the red signal leads to death or prison. They're really serious about their traffic laws there in Kuwait. Pretty interesting in there. All right, so next slide. You might have seen this in February during the liberation of Iraq in '91. That was they call that their Freedom Tower. That's their communications tower there. Next one. This is the Kuwaiti Towers. Next one there. That's a good video there. Prison. All right, speed shortwave to prison or death. Again, they're really serious about their laws there. as you go on there. So all right, so I get there, and I'm supposed to go and meet with the troops and hook up, hopefully, with that group that's serving our troops.com. Anyone go to that, participate in that? You had a good time? All right. Well, they were supposed to go to the camps there and go and minister all the troops, bring steak dinners and all those things. By the time I got there to Kuwait, I did not get any official orders, so I couldn't get onto any of the bases. So therefore, I had no place to sleep and had no money because I thought it was all taken care of. I left pretty much all my money in Israel. Kuwait is not set up for tourism. They don't need us. They don't need any tourists there. The thing that's happened is, some of you have been getting emails, I was grateful that I was able to be stranded there and go and just basically panhandle on the richest country in the world. 10% of the world's oil comes from Kuwait. And so I'm glad I was stranded there. I met this guy one of the first nights because I was asking, because I've traveled around the world. I can find a place to sleep. You just find out where immigrants are, because 10 of them are sharing a room all over the world. The poor all over the world are the same. So, but no one wants to share a room with a 6'3", 280-pound American. Kind of. I don't know, it's because I take up more floor space, but that one was pretty interesting. So I'm going around and I'm asking, and the minimum, the easiest or cheapest place is about $150 a night. Kuwait is not set up for tourism or for people to walk, so I'm a freak show there. Gas is cheaper than a bottle of water. So everybody drive, and V8s everywhere, guys. Muscle cars everywhere. I mean, this stuff, man, that's the land. You know where the V8s went? Kuwait. Oh my goodness, there. But everyone just passes you by and stuff. And and the other thing is about it is the Kuwaitis is that they import all their domestic work, labor force. So all the Kuwaitis get they sell 300 million barrels a day at $100 a barrel. That money gets divided between all the Kuwaitis. You're either Kuwaiti or you're not. If you're not Kuwait, then you're Filipino, Bangladesh, all the people from all over the world was able to meet, but no one would let me live with them. I would go and I said, look, I know there's got to be. I mean, I'm looking at the restaurant owners above their apartments and stuff like that. And I go, I know there's people. I'll pay for the night. You know, you charge, 1 KD, 1 Kuwaiti dollar is $3.80 American. Yeah, they don't need our money, folks. So I'm walking around. I've been walking around now for about 14 hours, and I meet this guy. He's a restaurant manager, and he's a Druze. He's from Lebanon. And the interesting thing is I got to tell the story hundreds of times because they're like, well, why don't you just go to the hotel? The Marriott or the Sheraton or the Ritz is right over there. Go stay there. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I have no money. I can't afford that. And I said, look, even if I could afford it, everything I have, I'll spend tonight. So I'm going to be right back here tomorrow. So let's just deal with it now. And so he took me home and stayed with him. And that's the way it was every night. Next picture. So I met some of the workers there at the restaurant. Really nice restaurant there. Next one there. And then I started going around. I started seeing signs around, rooms for rent. And they still don't want to rent to me. Next one. So this guy, you can't see him real well. Sorry, folks. I don't have enough RAM on here, my memory here. But this guy gave me about $20. He says, I just can't leave you alone here. Here. I went up to another restaurant owner to see if I can rent his apartment upstairs, and this guy was coming out buying shawarmas for his family. And I said, look, I'm just looking for a room to rent. Oh, you poor American. I just can't. And the hospitality there is amazing. And here, I've got this, and let me help you out. And I'm like, no, you don't. I've got some money. No. And he says, I don't need money. I need a home. I need a floor space. And he said no, but then I know how it works. He gave me $20 or equivalent. That was 8 KD or something like that. Go next one there. So I met him. He says, you're in the wrong part of Kuwait City. You need to go over to the Indian side. And I met Babul, who's a restaurant owner. And I got to tell my story again the next night, and he says, go to the next line there. Well, it's not much of a restaurant. I mean, that's it. And so next slide. And so very, very happy. Very next slide there. And they just feed you. This is chai tea, and well, it's something whatever they call it. But they keep you. Now look, here's the thing about hospitality. Now I've been in one of the most hospitable states in the country, Texas. They are hospitable. They don't like you, but they're Texans, and they're hospitable because they're Texans. All right. Over here in this part of the world, they are hospitable, and they mean it. They mean it very, very much. And so anywhere I went, and here's the thing, I got to tell my story over and over again about how did you get stranded? Well, I was supposed to work with the military. I was coming over here. I just came from Israel. You just came from Israel? Yeah. And you got into Kuwait? Let me see your passport. And they actually put the Kuwaiti visa right next to the Israeli visa. They we can't believe you even got in. You might get on the base, who knows? But you got into Kuwait. But they believe their own press clippings there. I've searched it all out there. But anyways, so they feed you and feed you and feed you. They take care of you. That's hospitality, and everyone's generally concerned about my welfare. And then they wanted me to tell the story over again. How'd you get stranded? You're an American. And how did this happen? And I just got to share Jesus over and over and over and over and over again. Again, folks, when for those of you who've gone through personal witness training and all this other stuff, look, you don't need to know everything about every other person, every other religion, every other thing in the world. All you need to know is the truth. And the truth of Jesus Christ and the truth of the gospel, that's all you need to communicate over and over again. You can try to practice. I knew nothing of Kuwait except that's where some friends of mine died in the liberation of Kuwait back in February of 91. I went and looked at the battlefields, and I went and I saw where Manny Gutierrez called on the day of the invasion, Sunday, February 25th. He calls and talks to everyone at church. And Manny, what are you doing? He's a Navy corpsman. He says, yeah, we're just getting ready to go into Kuwait. Just thought I'd say hi. You're getting ready? Yeah, the invasion's starting today. And he goes, well, how are you calling us? Well, we found a phone. We're just getting ready to go into Kuwait. We don't know who's paying the bill, but it's my turn. And so Marines are just all lined up, and we're like, well, everyone was praying for the invasion. How do you know the invasion's starting today? Well, we got a call. Manny called. And it's just the way it works. And so I was able to go see the areas that the 1st Marine Division came through, and I was able to just see some of the oil fields that Saddam Hussein had blown up, that they're still capped off, but they're still pumping and producing oil. Next slide. That was a really good video. Starbucks all over the world, folks. I think Starbucks owns the Persian Gulf. I went to one mall, and there's 12 Starbucks in one mall. Well, there's a reason for that, because you can't just go to any old Starbucks. Every Kuwaiti's got their favorite little spot. Next one there. Then I met this guy. I actually met a Kuwaiti. The first few days there, I'm sleeping on every immigrant's floor. I mean, literally, they tell me, Babul takes me, and I say, look, can I just pay you a KD or two? I know there's immigrants up there. I know there's immigrants above your restaurant. I know they're up there. It's the same all over the world. And he says, how do you know this? Yeah. He just is amazing there. So I said, let me go. And then every one of them says, well, you can come to my place tonight, you poor American. They're just the concept. I kept walking by every day, because that's what you got to do. You got to keep moving, move or you die. I kept walking by the same palace guards every day. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? And I just this freak show. Just keep walking up and down the Persian Gulf there. Look, the whole country of Kuwait. Well, let me put it this: Manhattan Island is 4 times the size of the whole nation of Kuwait. Kuwait City and Kuwait, the city of Kuwait, is pretty much the nation of Kuwait. And so it's all the Kuwaitis there. This is part of the royal family. If you're Kuwaiti, you're part of the royal family. It's a subdivisions like that. This guy just fed me every day. But I had to tell the story to everyone he introduced me to. Hey, look at this. Look at me. Check this out. Now, how'd you end up here again? Say this again. So I meet him the first night. I'm asking him and said, hey, we met over by the embassy, and he just like, this is amazing. And met him and a couple of his kids. And he says, meet me at this restaurant. Met at this restaurant. And we're just eating like crazy. And I'm, it's Chinese food, so you order more than you can eat then because you're never going to take it home. But I had no home. But so now I'm walking around with my Marine Corps backpack and a bag of food. Oh, stuff like that at the end of the day and stuff like that. You can eat that? You can eat that? You can eat it. He was just amazed. So every day he said, call me. I just want to know how it turned out for you. And meet me at this restaurant. So he's feeding me every day. And I again tell the story. And he's introducing me to more and more people. This is inside one of their malls by one of the Starbucks or something like that. And this is his son and his family. And so that's what he's looked like when he's not in his whole garb and stuff. Very, very, very hospitable people. Hospitable. Then, if I would have gone and got on with that group that wouldn't have gone to the bases, which I'll tell you I was able to get to, but I didn't have permission to get on the bases, so I had to meet everyone at the gates. If I just would have kept what I knew about Kuwait and gone to the bases, back and forth to the airport, and that would have been it. My whole worldview and everything has changed about Kuwait, and it is just amazing. First of all, they love both President Bushes. Go figure. All right, they do. They love Americans. Totally forgot, because I was fixated on that February, because it's been since 91. I got out of the Marines in 84. Totally forgot that February 25th and 26th is the 25th is Liberation Day, 26th is Independence Day. It was a long weekend. It was a big build-up for that weekend in Iraq. But and I'm walking around with my Marine Corps backpack on and camel pack, and I'm hey, Marines! They love Americans. They want to be American. Everything about it. This mall is called their big mall, whatever, of Kuwait, whatever. It's just a avenues. They call it the avenues. And they after this really short lunch that was only 4 hours long, that he had to feed me again. And then he brought more of the family. I mean, this is just the guys. The women showed everyone like, tell the story. And where he leads me, I will follow. What he feeds me, I will swallow. Something I didn't know about the Kuwaitis, they're a seafaring lot. And before they struck oil, they were fishermen. And they took me to the authentic Kuwaiti food.
You like it now?
Just as the Marines before me in 91 fixed bayonet and stormed the sandhills, I said, bring it on! I want to try that fish. I want to try that fish. And you've got to try this. Of course I do. Of course I do. So they just enjoyed for 4 hours. Try this fish. Thank you. May I have another? Are you going to eat the rest of that? Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Oh, man. You know what? I was filled. I was filled up every day. Every day. No, I think I was still in shock. But very hospitable, fish-giving people. Fish, perfume, fish, salt, fish, everything. It's their equivalent to our bacon. Oh my goodness, there. So that was that. So I got to tell the story over and over again. But this is Burashed, and Burashed, you got to pray for him because he comes to America about once a year when it gets to be like 100 million degrees in the summer there, and he comes to Boston. But his brother-in-law and all these others are here, his two sons. He was the most open, and I was able to share the Lord with him, and he'd tell me the story again, and so much so that after the long lunch, after it was the 26th, Sunday the 26th, and I scraped enough money together, finally got access to money, had some money, and it cost $1 million plus $2, whatever, to rent a car. And I was able to get out to the camps, but I had to go every day and via emails and stuff. And so on the 26th, which is the really big day of the celebration, I couldn't get back to my car. So AJ took me out to the camps that night. and he didn't know where they were, and I was able to show him around. I was able to show him the country a little bit there, and he hates the desert. They all hate the desert. They don't want to be in the desert, and that's why they build big palatial places there. So as I'm walking around, I'll have to show you another video or another time. As I was walking around, I walked from the embassy trying to get some access onto the bases, and I walk a couple miles, and it'll be about 5 miles down, straight from the embassy down to the beach, 5 kilometers, whatever that is. And I see on this little map that I have that there's the Palm Beach Hotel. So I'm going to go get me some free Wi-Fi on my iPhone there, and I go down there, I get on the beach, and I sit on the patio area. I don't see many people there at the beach, or it's kind of cold there for them. And I'm there for about an hour just cranking out. I got some free Wi-Fi. It's some weird names to it, like living room and second floor and that kind of stuff. So when I'm all done, I pack up and I'm walking up into the hotel, and the workers who are just doing some remodeling on the outside said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm going into the lobby." And they go, "What lobby?" "The lobby of the Palm Beach Hotel." He goes, "No, this is someone's house." What? I've been sitting on someone's patio overlooking the beach for like an hour. Someone's house is a quarter mile long. One of the Kuwaitis, that was just their beach villa. So now I'm on the beach. It says, "Yeah, you got to walk for like the next mile on the beach before you can actually get back onto the road." And the Palm Beach is over there, which is this little dinky little hotel. But I'm just this someone's house. Someone's house. This is the Kuwait. Next picture there. So, that was a great video right there. Keep going. Then after 4 or 5 days, I was able to meet this pastor and his wife, and David Peacock and his wife Becky, Canadians. They're and go next one. And there's this National Evangelical Church of Kuwait. Here's the thing that blows your mind, folks. There is more freedom of religion, of Christianity in Kuwait than there is in the United States. All of Christianity in the Arabian Peninsula, which was huge, started in Kuwait. This church right here ministers to 20,000 people a week. Christmas, they had 50,000 people come through during that Christmas week. They have people, again, there's the Kuwaitis, and then they import everybody to do every domestic thing you could think of that could be done in Kuwait. So you have nationalities from all over the world and stuff that are coming there, and they have 27 different services in 27 different languages, all over Kuwait City, and they meet in villas and stuff like that. Dave and Becky, which is interesting, last year was able to rent. Now the church is renting this villa. They call them villas. It's the former temporary embassy of Iraq. I guess the other one got blown up some years ago. And they built a new one there, and then they rented this thing out. And so that's the place where I got to stay for the last few days, and then go to all these churches, and I was just going to service after service after service. And so this is a huge compound. But I got some literature, and I'll give you guys some of that stuff there if you're interested. But just of Christianity. And how it started was through medical missions. Over 100 years ago, some guys who were missionaries took a little bit of medical training of 110 years ago. I think it was 1878. So they go to Kuwait. They went to Yemen and Oman and stuff, and then they ended up going to Kuwait. And then one of the missionaries there had some medical training, did the Emir. His niece got her better with a little bit of medicines there, and they set up a compound. That compound that they're on is a national museum. The hospital actually closed in 1967. But everyone loves that. Now, there is a Kuwaiti prime minister, not a Kuwaiti prime, but a parliament member who wants Sharia law to be in Kuwait, and he wanted to tear down all the churches. Everyone in Kuwait says, no, we're not going to do that. If we get rid of the church in Kuwait, our nation's lost. Now, they're Muslims for the most part in name only. They don't eat pork. They eat a lot of fish. And so Christianity is huge through the Arabian Peninsula there. And so I was able to really hook up with this ministry, and they were able to take me in the last few days. I kept going there every day to this compound trying to find somebody. I said, hey, is there any Christian brothers here who rent a room or could do something like that? And every day, again, it's church. It's church all over the world. People were busy. Listen up, folks. God was really just doing a lot of stuff here that will be coming out of various staff meetings and talking to ministry leaders here and stuff. But church, the same all over the world. Every time I was going there, people were busy with a task, and they were forgetting about the people. And I had sent an email days earlier. The emails wasn't being answered. And I finally said, I'm that guy. Well, I never. And then arguing with one of the church secretaries, of the many church secretaries, that they finally hooked me up with. I said, I sent it here. I know I sent it here. Oh, I didn't check it today. So I sent it a few days ago. Finally, it pops up. Oh, yeah, well, here it is. And let me get it to Pastor so-and-so. Every day I was going there like, Lord, there's 20,000 people. There's got to be somebody who will rent a room to me or something or take me, hear my story or whatever. They were amazed as well. What do you mean? You're an American, you're a Christian, and what do you mean you have no money? Again, so there's a perception coming the other way as well. But it's ministry all over the world and church all over the world where you can get busy and you get caught up with the business of the ministry and you can get up with the tasks. And I knew exactly what happened. The day that we hooked up, I came at one of the most busiest days because everyone was folding bulletins for 20 different services that they were having in different languages there. So they're all focused and said, I remember what that was like years ago. That's why we've never had bulletins here. I remember what that was like, where a few of us would spend 8 hours on a Friday folding bulletins for all the services and stuff like that. All the bulletins that everyone just lines the bird cage with. All right, so I said, man, if I ever had an opportunity to plant churches and do something like that, we'll not have a bulletin. And praise God, we have never had a bulletin. Fortunately, Al Gore invented the internet, I guess, and I was able to just go electronic and all this stuff. But there's that whole task. So I said, hey, sisters are busy. Let me get with another pastor, and let me get so-and-so and so-and-so. Finally hooked up with them, and it was like living with me and Kimberly. I mean, they don't know us from Adam. Oh, yeah, we got an extra room. Come on in. Here's the run of the house. Here's what you have. Yeah, you need a phone? Here's a Kuwaiti cell phone. There's a number, so you start calling people. Oh, by the way, Brewer Shed kept calling me now that I had a number. Where are you? Come meet me. More fish. A lot of fish, folks. I'm still processing that. Give me that coffee. Still got the taste in my mouth. Next picture there. So going out to the camps every day, Camp Virginia, Bering, and trying to go out and minister, and wasn't able to get on the camps, but again, through the guys that have an email, setting up times, I'll be out there, I'll wait, and so next one there. So that was a really good slide. So I was able to meet up with one of our police officers. This is one of our future police officers. He's on the department right now, not a sworn officer, but he just got to pass his test. Fortunately, our department here is really great. He was able to be given the test. They sent it to his captain. His captain was the proctor. He took the test. He passed the exam, and then he was interviewed over the phone and Skype and that from Kuwait, and he's set to go to the next academy as long as they're not going to be their extended deployment there. You can see the concrete barrier on the next one there. Chaplain, one of the chaplains there who was able to get in contact with there, was able to work some things out. And Camp Bering is that was probably the largest of the camp, so they actually had to get a vehicle and get out to the main gate, and that's the pass and ID hut, next one there. And again, Staff Sergeant Ryan Anderson and his dad's on the police force. I've been waiting for him to come on for the police force, so after he passes academy, he can pen his badge and he can retire. So he's just waiting for that. Next one. And then this officer right here really needed some encouragement. So I was able to bring letters from our chief of police and from their commanders and a glass mug from the Western District for this officer. Next one. And they're in prison, folks. Here's what happened. They can't get off the camps. There's 5 camps in Kuwait. And you can drive from one end of Kuwait to the other in an hour and a half. I mean, that's at its widest part. There's a berm all the way around, so they can't even, there's no fence to look off. They can't even see desert. All they can see is a berm all the way around and just their compound. So they have the inner perimeter that the Army patrols, and then there's an outside perimeter around the berm area where there's a private contractors, private security. And there's like correctional officers. These guys are like POWs. They're going batty. 6 months ago, it would have been easier for me to get on the base. But some general in South Carolina, the last general who was there got fired. They promoted him and they moved him on. And another general took over and says the security's really, really lax. So he just said everyone locked down. He made a decision, which again I'm making my opinion here. He lives in South Carolina. He can go home every day off the base. And he says, I want all the bases locked down. No one can get security. So when I spent time at the embassy, meeting up with one-star generals and everything, everyone's upset because they can't even get on the bases. A one-star general can't go up to any one of those bases, those camps, and get on. These guys, and you have to pray for them because 3,500 of these Army National Guardsmen are coming home after spending a year in prison. That's all I can explain to you, folks. They are on the camps. They literally can't go from one camp to the next camp. The guys can't even leave Camp Virginia and go to the bigger camp where they have like some food stores and stuff like that. So those are even the smaller ones. So they don't even see above a fence or a wire or whatever. All they see is a berm of dirt all the way around them. And then if they do end up getting a pass to go out to one of the other camps, they got to get out, take their camo jackets off. They get searched by the contract security. They're there to protect them, the outer perimeter, which is pretty humiliating for those of you already in the service to have a private contractor be your outside security. So these guys are they're a little stir crazy in there, and there's nothing for them to do, and literally they're causing them busy work. So I'm glad that I got stranded. I didn't get on with that other group because it just would have been easier to go see these guys. Because of the effort that had to be made to get out there every day to try to find a time to meet them, to wait, to get out, something like that, it just really blew them away. And so you, church, as your pastors, you sent me to work with the St. Paul Police Department as their chaplain. And this is having a ripple of waves effect through our department there. What's going on here? It's St. Paul Police Department is a small city, so word gets around. But I was going to be there. Why are you going to be there? So now I'm able to tell the story to my chief. I'm able to tell the story to the other people. I'm leading a law enforcement tour, which you missed out on. And then I'm able to do this, I'm able to do that, and I was going to be there. And I already had this planned a year ago and all that kind of stuff. I was not able to see Kevin, my son Kevin. He's in all kinds of other training, and so it just didn't work out. But his vehicle was the last vehicle to get hit with an IED with the end of the war of Iraq. And so I was able to talk with him after that happened. I was hoping to see him because I knew I was coming out there. He didn't know I was coming until about a month before, and there would be the possibility, so he had to inform his command staff that I might be out there. So I wasn't able to hook up with him. I was able to get some stuff to him through some other troops. Tomorrow, Kevin gets penned with a combat action badge. Called it a blood badge, and he gets penned tomorrow by his first sergeant, and it is the last him and his other two guys in his vehicle that was blown up with the IED, they're okay, are the last soldiers to be awarded any medals in the war of Iraq. So they might be taking pictures and posting it to the Red Bulls website tomorrow. We don't know. I can't imagine them not taking a picture. But something else about the Army National Guard. The last deployment, one of our St. Paul police officers received a Silver Star. An Army National Guards member has not received a Silver Star since the Civil War. So this one will let you know our department and what's being involved in the Army National Guard. And these 3,500, it's different for those of you who served like me. When we've had bases, we have support. The thing with the Army National Guard is there really is no bases here when they come back. People really don't know, and they come right back into society, and so we have to be prepared for that and to help support them when they come back here. And so we're going to have a lot within our community, and there might be a lot showing up here because it's like your chaplain showed up. Your chaplain showed up. You got a chaplain? And they're like, well, we've got a chaplain here who's in the Army chaplain. He doesn't even show up. What are you talking about? Your chaplain, so I guess that had a little bit of effect. Your police chaplain showed up. And so what is that? And so there was all that care that was going on there. So go to the next one there. I think that's it there. So I've got some other videos I can show you folks, but understand this. Calvary Chapel St. Paul has a huge effect all over the world. If this works out, which I think it'll happen every year, I'll be doing a law enforcement tour to Israel in February. I want to go back to Kuwait every year. And you really want to go back during the celebration time, every 25th and 26th of February. Man, oh my goodness. You need to plan to have a little bit more money. But I know where the immigrants are. So everyone says, you're coming back next year? And yeah. And they just kind of look at you like, I'll have a place to stay, though. Oh, okay. All right. I mean, they're just, this whole thing about hospitality. So a lot of things that was going on. When I was a very good husband and father to my children when I was living in California, because I actually spent time with my wife and kids. And there was a little bit of pride in that, I guess, a little cut above some of the other Christians there. I moved back to Minnesota here 20 years ago. I'm a pipsqueak when it comes to taking care of your kids. Family is a god out here. There was no way. I mean, to talk to your neighbors, talking about waking up their 6-year-old at 5 in the morning so he can get some rink time on the ice skates. So hopefully someday when he's old enough, he can make the high school hockey team. Excuse me? You wake your 6-year-old up at... And there's 24-hour ice rinks around here. Some of you parents know that. Some of you know that kids are born with ice skates. It makes delivery tough, but you understand what that is out here, all right? And so those are the various things. So I was like, but that's just all the outward appearance stuff. If I was to gauge myself on the outward appearance and stuff, then I guess I really didn't really love my kids because I didn't buy them, $1,200 a year for each kid for hockey equipment that they're going to grow out of. All right. Now, soccer I just don't like, so Kara was never going to play that. Coffee. Yeah, give me that coffee there. She's a little bitter. She's a little bitter over that one. All right. But, and then if you kids want to play hockey, go find some ski, whatever. Get out there. There's ponds out there. God created water in Minnesota, so they freeze. So you go. So those are the various things. So so that's through my mindset. I thought I was a pretty good dad and father until I moved back here and realized, look, there's no way I can keep up with, the Swinsons, the Johnsons, and the Andersons. There's no way to keep up with having the outward appearance. But again, family as a God takes more people out of ministry here. And so I still love my wife and my kids, and we have our time together and stuff like that. But, I don't bow down to my children. It's the other way around. Really. I thought, and I'm just trying to make this analogy here, this comparison. I thought I was a very hospitable person. And I think I am. No, not compared to the Kuwaitis. Not compared to what I experienced. I experienced hospitality in Texas because they're Texans. I knew I was a lot hospitable than them. These people genuinely meant it. When people were genuinely moved, after they got over the shock of an American being homeless in Kuwait, and why would you come here? And then just like, let me help you out. To one guy handed me, $20 almost the equivalent in American. Another guy, hey, let me get you over here. Another guy paying for my cab. He said, I've been watching you walk all day. You need to get over there. Let me pay for the cab. And literally, people pulling money out of their pocket and doing that and generally taking care of you, to where the one restaurant owner or manager, I could see the process where he's telling me the story. I said, this, and I was like, this is my first night there. I said, this guy's taking me home. And I could see him because he's calling, obviously I found out later, his roommates and stuff like that. And he's praying, tell me the story again, and he's checking. He's doing the same thing I've done. Let me check out the story. Let me see your facts, what's going on here. Everyone's got mobile phones. He's able to go online, check out my story, all this kind of stuff. He says, oh, you'll just come home with me. He gave me his bed. He slept on the couch. He has 2 other roommates. His other roommate is a Druze, but he's from Syria, and his other roommate is an Egyptian. Up all night, great political talks on those. Showing me stuff like that. To meeting the Kuwaitis, to telling me what it's really like. There will be no peace in the Middle East until Jesus Christ comes back and reigns and rules. As we're going to see here, as we've already finished up a few weeks ago, and now we're going to start on Joseph, but Jacob and Laban. That mentality in the Middle East. This is the most richest, profitable country, small little country, Kuwait, and they are absolutely morally bankrupt and corrupt, and they want more and more money. They all fight. The family fights each other for more and more money. And the family, the Sabah Emir, the king or the crown prince of Kuwait, it went back hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago that each family would take turns. Your family's going to rule for 40 years, then my family's going to rule for 40 years. Well, the Sabat family that's ruling right now was supposed to be off the throne 15 years ago. They said, no, we kind of like that. Kind of like it. And so there's all this corruption, all this thieving, and all this stealing. It's the same. Look, I did not need to know everything about Kuwait. I knew, literally, all I knew is that friends died in Kuwait. And I knew about the war. I knew about the occupation. I knew about the oil. I knew absolutely nothing what I know now about Kuwait. But I knew the truth. And I was able to share, like I do with personal witness training, I was able to share the truth. And they wanted to hear the message over and over again, because first we became friends. Every day, this no longer was it. And now I'm emailing back and forth. And now this Burishard family, they want to see me in Boston when they come out to Boston. And the kids like me and all. It's amazing. They're not a Christian yet, but and this guy, when I first met him, says, "You obviously don't know who I am." I said, "I do not know who you are." He says, "I'm a very famous person." And then his kid said, "Yes, he's a very famous person." I said, "You know what? Amongst the 10 people I know, I'm pretty famous too. I have no idea. I have no idea." And I'm just off the cover there. I guess he spent the rest of the 8 days there showing me how important he is. And he is pretty important, to where there's 12 different Starbucks in that one mall. And each prominent person camps out at their Starbucks in that mall. And you hold court there, and that's what they do, because it's air conditioned and stuff. And and then me not realizing, because I'm just Chik, and I make friends wherever I go, so like that. So I go back and I tell the family that I'm staying with, the Canadians who are doing the ministry, who are doing the National Evangelical Church of Kuwait. They're like, "How did you meet this person? You know, we've been here all these years, and like you're sitting down and they're feeding you fish. How do you do that?" I just, by the hand of the Lord. And so we're able to do those things, folks. You participate. I hope you enjoyed the emails. If you didn't, just hit delete. But the whole thing is that you as a church, we all get to participate in that. So my prayer is hopefully that we'll be able to continue to go back and do the law enforcement tour. If you want to go over to Kuwait, we'll work some things out. Who knows? We might stay at a palace next time. I'll work something out. Maybe that Palm Beach hotel. I know where to get Wi-Fi. Hey, let's finish up here and stuff. I got some other videos here. It's not working on my keynote, and so I have to individually go to the videos there, but I got some other messages there. But folks, what we're seeing in a lot of this will come out in the rest of the Genesis study. They're just corrupt. It's family. There's not going to be peace in the Middle East until Jesus comes back and reigns and rules and sets it straight. It's just set, and everybody in Kuwait knows that as well. And everybody in the Middle East knows that as well. They're just like, until someone comes, and now these Kuwaitis believe in Jesus Christ, that he could be the Messiah, but someone's going to be the Messiah. It could have been Jesus. It could be someone's going to come back. And so I was just able to share with them, again, through my story. And that's it. Be equipped. Be in season and out of season. Be always ready to give a reason for the hope that lies within you. And you never know who. When you're brought before kings and princes and governors and rulers and immigrants and everything, be ready. And all you need to know is the truth. If you know the truth of the gospel, the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ, they'll ask you about it. They'll ask you about it, and you'll be able to share that with them. And don't hold back, because if I don't go back to Kuwait, I'll never see these guys again. And now I've got a different card. I hope you guys haven't given up on it, but I'm still praying for these people on my card. And now I have an overseas card, a Kuwaiti card that I have to fill up there. But I'm praying for the people here that would come to know Jesus Christ. And so if you haven't done this, pick one up. And put down on your list 6 people that you would like to know come to Jesus Christ here in the city. And you come bring them here and get them discipled here. But let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for tonight.